I want to introduce you to a brand that I'm working with called Dizzo. They offer dissolvable supplement strips, which means the vitamins are absorbed 4 times more than tablets and capsules. So these are perfect if you want quicker results or maybe you can't take tablets. You guys know that I only work with brands that I love. I am personally using their B12 strips and their energy strip. As a business owner, I get tired. So I kind of need that boost every day, and these are definitely helping with my energy levels. I'm also taking their multivitamin strips, which taste lovely. Go and check out their website in the show notes. Go and order yours and let me know what you think. Welcome to the Life of KG, your ultimate destination for all things motivation and business insights. Join me, Katie Godfrey, serial entrepreneur and the brains behind the KG brand. Along the way, we'll welcome inspiring guests and share invaluable business tips to fuel your growth journey. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. With that said, let's dive into the world of success together. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of A Life of KG. I am so excited for our guest today because she is so inspirational and amazing, and she has a really, really good story that I think will motivate you massively. So without further ado, here is Lottie. Lottie, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thanks for coming on. I'm good, thank you. Really, really good. And I'm so excited to talk to you. It was Jo that reached out to me about you, and she was like, oh my God, you need to have Lottie on the podcast. So I was like, oh my God, so excited to have you.
Yeah, so Jo's actually my mentor. So I've been doing a lot of kind of work with her and getting myself out there, talking to different people. And yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
I love that. So let's go into your backstory to begin with, so everyone kind of knows who you are and what you do. So what is it that you do?
So obviously I'm Lottie. I'm 21. I am from Essex, if you can't tell from the accent. So I got into lashing, or specifically lashing, about 5 years in January. So I was 16, did it alongside school, did it alongside A-levels, and then I went to uni, lasted 5 hours, dropped out, and I was like, oh God, don't really know what to do. So I took it full time. And yeah, since then I've opened a training academy, and I mean, my brain's always looking for more things to do, but that's kind of currently where I'm at.
Oh, I love that. Well done. You're doing so well.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
So take me back to childhood. How was childhood? Because I know you have quite a big backstory there.
Yeah, so to be quite frank, I had a very good childhood. I probably had a childhood that a lot of girls would love. I went to a church school. It was a really close-knit school. I did every club you can imagine: swimming, dancing, singing, acting, cheerleading, gymnastics, this, that. I had a really, really good childhood. So then obviously after primary, went into secondary, and that is kind of where a lot of my struggles arose. I feel like when you're in primary, it's so close-knit and you're so sheltered. And my secondary was such a big school, and really liked it. Through year 7 to year 9, did really well, was at the top of pretty much all the top sets, did all the shows, as I've always had a love for kind of acting and drama and things like that. So yeah, school was always really, really good. Obviously I have had my struggles being dyslexic, so I have got bright blue glasses, which obviously is a very, very easy target at any age. So yeah, had that. And then it was probably in year 10 where all my struggles kind of started to arise. I met this boy, and everything essentially went downhill from there. So I was dealing with him, dealing with potential diagnoses of kind of ADHD, autism, dyslexia, and that's kind of where all my struggles arose.
So what happened with the boy situation then?
So I'm going to try and keep this polite, not going to swear. He was a very manipulative, very mentally abusive, just a very horrible, horrible boy. I mean, I won't go into too much detail about him, but the school was involved as he was teachers at throwing chairs at teachers trying to get to me because I was being protected by a group of teachers, and he was wild. I mean, I don't know any sane person that would throw a chair at a teacher to get to his girlfriend. So he was very controlling, very manipulative. I couldn't go out. I lost a lot of my friends. I was falling out with family. So it was very isolating. It was not a very good time of life, and I'm very grateful that I'm not still with him, thank the Lord. I hope he's grown up now, because I mean that was years ago, and maybe it was love, but I don't think it was really.
So obviously after reading your story and hearing bits, I know that you tried to end your life a couple of times. Was that around him? Like, where did that kind of the mental health side come from?
So the mental health was definitely brewing. I mean, when you have, whether that be dyslexia or autism, when you've got any condition, you feel different. I've always felt very different. I've looked at the world very different. And a lot of the problems, especially with my autism, arose when, or I guess came to light. They didn't arise because they were always there. Came to light when I was with him. I stopped going out and I was having so much anxiety. And yes, they definitely got kind of way worse when I was him. So this might sound a bit blunt, a bit cruel. He definitely was the trigger to my mental health. I mean, I took my overdose it was the 5th of December, and it was the morning of my first GCSE mock. So I was year 11 at this point. I ironically so I was in hospital kind of the night before and the morning of. Ironically, even though I was completely drugged off of my face, I went into school and I sat my first mock. I did really well. I got an 8 in English, so I was absolutely chuffed. I was like, wow. But it was my decision, my parents' decision, the mental health unit at the hospitals, and the teacher's decision to get me signed off, as I guess as a risk to myself. I was a risk to other students, and yeah, I definitely think it was the right choice to get me signed off from school.
So then what happened from being signed off from school? Did that mean that you finished the rest at home? Like, what did that look like?
No, so I did not do any other mocks apart from that. I blame myself because I think a lot of my friends, obviously because I did what I did, they struggled in their mocks, and it must have been a really horrible time for them. I mean, their best friends tried to kill themselves, and I think I would say to people, if you're not in that headset, you will never understand. If you do not struggle with mental health, you are bloody lucky, and I wish I could be with you. Because even now I get horrendous days. I'm not saying I sit here and I'm like, oh, I want to kill myself, but I think it's something you're either born with or you're not really. So it was definitely good. So I didn't sit my mocks. I then was signed off from school. If I'm 100% honest with you, so much of that time period was such a blur. I think it's like trauma blackout. I don't know what the official term for it is, but that's what it felt like. There's so much of my life I don't remember for probably about at least half a year, which I think is really scary. And when I reflect back on it now, that's petrifying, that I was in such a bad way, that I was in and out of hospital trying to kill myself. It's so scary. So I sympathize with anyone going through it, or anyone who knows anyone who's been through it or is kind of going through it themselves. It's awful. Yeah, it's just awful.
Yeah, I can totally resonate with that as well. Obviously, you know, my backstory, I've tried to do it as well myself, but mine was from being bullied rather than a boy, and all the different things. And it's just, yeah, I think it's the different mindsets, isn't it? But I think you also have to be so strong, which you clearly are, to get through that, get out the other side, and actually be doing like what you're doing now, which is absolutely amazing. So well done for keep going on and fighting it, basically.
Thank you. I think I was very, very lucky with all the support I've received. I mean, I got absolutely skyrocketed up the CAMS list, which I know people myself that have been on there for years. I mean, I got seen by a counsellor within a matter of weeks. So I know that's really fortunate. I was very, very fortunate that my parents could afford a private psychiatrist. So she did all my medication and she helped with my schooling and things like that. And obviously just having a really strong support unit. I mean, my mum and my dad, I feel so bad for them. I don't have kids myself, but I mean, they would talk to like mental health crisis teams, and one of the advice they were given was, "Oh, just put her in a bath,
Put her in the bath.
kill herself," and you'd say, "Can you keep her safe for tonight?" And obviously, they're doing as good as they can and giving good advice, but to a parent, I can't even imagine how petrifying it is. And I mean, I slept in my parents' room. I was on suicide watch, so I was constantly with someone. I wasn't allowed to be alone for more than 20 minutes, which I feel horrendous for my parents. I can't imagine having someone so close to you and someone you love kind of go through that, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now you've obviously like you're older and you realise that effect on your parents, but you wouldn't have known that back then. And, you know, our parents are such good people, aren't they? Well, hopefully most people's parents are, where they can support you in different things like that. And I'm sure they wouldn't have changed any of that. But how did you kind of come out the other side? Was it the therapy and the counselling that you had, or was it kind of like a turning point? Because obviously I know like with mental health, it's not about turning off on and off the tap. Like you said, it's there with them people that do suffer with that part of our lives. But was there a turning point for you where you're like, okay, I feel like I'm stronger now?
So there was kind of two things. The first thing was when I was actually in hospital for the first time. I was sat on the hospital bed, obviously drugged off my face, and my mum said, "You are so selfish." And it's so funny because I feel like when you're in that state, you're treated like you're fragile. Like, because I guess you are, you're like a piece of glass that could smash at any point. And no one had ever during this time said anything harsh to me or anything rude or anything. I know you get the whole, "Oh, we're all here for you, we love you." But when you're in that time, quite frankly, I didn't care. I don't care if you're here for me because I'm the one struggling. I'm the one that wants to die. I don't want to be here. So it was definitely my mum saying, "You're selfish," because I really thought, "Oh my God, I've got to get my bum in gear." And secondly, for me, I kind of hit a point where I just thought, you either get better or you kill yourself. I know that's really blunt and that's probably my autism, but in my opinion, you have to want to get better. When I was in it, I didn't want to get better at all. I don't want to say happy being in that point, but certainly wasn't making a conscious effort to not be depressed and be out of that. I mean, that's kind of what I think I had to want to do it for myself. So I guess it's not essentially like a turning point as such, but more just like a, "Come on, get your bum in gear, girl. You're young, you've got things going for you, and you've got people that care about you." So I think that was probably more what it was for me. And also seeing my mum and obviously my dad as well, but I'm very, very close to my mum, seeing her deteriorate and seeing her, I don't want to say break because she definitely didn't break, but seeing the impact that I have caused on so many people. And funny enough, I'm still, so I had a boyfriend at the time. He was lovely. I hold my hands up to him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. And seeing the effects on him as well was enough for me to go, "Enough, Lottie. Kind of get your head out the gutter and sort yourself out."
Yeah, so it's the others around you that you feel like saved you from that. Wow. Wow. So obviously we've got here, bless you, mental health, autism, ADHD, dyslexia. Could only obviously resonate on a couple of those. I'm dyslexic. Go to the dyslexic people. I think we're very special. My daughter at the moment is getting diagnosed for autism. I'm pretty sure, 99.9% sure that she's autistic. So obviously I know the struggles and stuff there. But these are becoming so much more like common now. People having dyslexia, autism, ADHD. Why do you think that is? And how do you feel that you've overcome and been able to live with these?
So I think when I was younger, there was a lot of things. I mean, I had tantrums, for instance, till I was probably about 13, which that's like, I don't even know what school year that is, year 8, which is just absolutely crazy. My poor parents. So there's always been signs, but when I was younger, it just wasn't spoken about. It was, "Oh, you're the naughty kid. Oh, you're really disruptive. Oh, you're just crap at reading." And it was actually, I must have been about year 8, year 9. I had the reading age of a 6-year-old. I was in top sets. I was meant to achieve 8s and 9s. But how are you meant to achieve A stars and A's if you've got the reading age of a 6 or a 7-year-old. So that was kind of how I got the diagnosis for that. And I think it's becoming so much more, I don't want to use the word accepted. I think when I was younger, you were different. You know, you'd be like, oh, that's weird. He's weird. Like being like that, that's weird. Where now, I don't think it's frowned upon anymore. I think
No,
back
I
at my
know.
parents' age, it wasn't talked about, so it wasn't known about. Where now, so many more people are kind of looking at themselves thinking, oh, I do struggle with this, or oh, I do that as well. And I've talked to so many girls who have messaged me and said, oh, I have this, and da-da, and you're able to kind of just talk about it, and I'm going to say normalize it because it's such a normal thing. I personally believe everyone is on the spectrum. I just think it's to what level. And I mean, my older sister, she was diagnosed with autism, and I don't know the percent. I did know it, I don't remember it, but you're more likely if the older sibling has it that the younger sibling has it. And yeah, I definitely was grateful that I could have my diagnosis. And I guess the older I have got, you just learn to live with it. Like it's just a quirk. I'm a bit of a quirky person. It's like buy one, get three free, or however many it is. So I think it's a good thing, all of these, and I think it's really benefited me having all these conditions in my work, in my life, as a lot of the time, I'm not gonna say all the time, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because it is blooming hard having not just one condition, but a lot of the time they actually kind of work in cohesion, I think the word is. They all work together and it benefits me. So it's quite good, really.
Well, it's like a huge superpower, isn't it? Like you said, obviously there is like the troubles that you might have with that, you know, has not helped when it comes to your upbringing and all the different things that you've gone through. But I think as you grow with it and you become like, do you know what, this is me, like, let me use this to my advantage, you're able to do those things as well. That's why I said to my daughter and to some of my best friends that are in the same position, like this is literally your superpower. Like, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because obviously there's bad and good from it, but there is also so much good that can come from it once you start understanding yourself.
100%. And if I'm honest, I think that's what it was to me. I mean, I got diagnosed with all three things when I was 16. So when I was with that horrible boyfriend and when I was going through my mental health struggles. And at the time, I was just like, oh, I don't want to be different. I just want to be normal. But I just think, what is normal? And the older I've got, I've learned to deal with it. I've learned coping mechanisms. And don't get me wrong, that's not all through myself. I did CBT therapy. That massively benefited me. I preferred that to sitting down and talking about my problems because I thought, here are my problems. What can I do with that? I'm just telling you to get it off my chest. So CBT therapy really benefited me because you actually look at how to help it rather than what the issue is, I guess. But it is the older you get, the more you learn yourself, and also the more you're not dealing with the school pressure. I really think, and I feel sorry for kids nowadays with social media and things like that, the pressure they feel to look a certain way, to be a certain way. I mean, obviously I felt that, but I just think it's getting worse and worse. And now I'm older, I think, oh, I think this way. Okay, cool. I'm a bit more blunt. Great, that's fine. And like my conditions, for instance, with my autism, I hyperfixate on lashes and beauty, but then kind of ironically with my ADHD, I'm so scatty. My brain's like, oh, I want to do brows, I want to do facials, I want to do lashes. So ironically, they kind of work against each other, but they work in cohesion. I think the older you get, the more you learn kind of how to deal with it and kind of just more about yourself, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny you say that CBT helped. I've had that, but Lola's actually on the waiting list, my daughter, for that as well to help. So I'm glad that you're like, yeah, that helped, because I'm like, oh, finally I could get some help from her, because it's such a struggle. Like I said, as a mum, your mum would have gone through the same. It's so hard when your little ones are struggling. And school as well is just an absolute nightmare if they're keeping up. And I think this whole thing of am I normal plays on her mind all of the time. Like, am I more normal? Why do I think like this? Why do I take things so literally? Like, why am I so sensitive? All of these things that she deals with daily. But she is 9.
So that I think that is amazing that you're getting the help now, because it's so much harder to diagnose anything in girls, like especially autism, in girls than it's boys. So I think definitely by getting her diagnosed young, you are doing a massive, massive service. You are helping her out massively, because I wish I was diagnosed younger. I mean, 16 is still a very young age. I know girls who've talked to me are at 24, 25 getting diagnosed now, but I think the younger you get diagnosed, the easier your life's going to be. So I think that's incredible. that you're able to
Yeah.
cope with that.
Yeah, definitely. And girls mask it as well so much, don't they? And so it's harder to pick up. So it's only been, I'd say, the last year or so where we've been seeing certain signs, and I'm like been piecing it together, get loads of advice, like, so yeah. But it's good to know. I mean, because like you said, it is becoming more common nowadays, but it's like, is it more common, or like you said, is it just more I would say normal? Is it more people are accepting it more, like you said, aren't they? So is it then more people feel comfortable to say, oh yeah, I've got this, rather than it being like this dark cloud that you can't say that you've got it?
Yeah, I think there's not a negative stigma attached to it. Definitely when I was growing up, if you had any condition, it was weird. Like, that's just weird. But now I think it is normalized. I think the world is evolving. You've got to evolve with it, you know? So I think even like LGBTQ and things like that, that was never, like, never, I don't want to say accepted, but I feel like with all of this big bracket, it was never talked about, it was never discussed, it was never normalized. And now we're so accepting of being individuals and who you are and things like that, that I think more people, you are right, are saying, oh, I have got this and I've got this, and they're not afraid to speak about it.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. And so you've obviously gone into the lash and brow world. Do you do beauty as a whole, or is it mainly lashes and brows that you specialise in?
Predominantly, lash extensions is my favourite, definitely.
And what made you get into that?
So it was actually the nice boyfriend I just talked about. His mum did lash extensions, and I was with him when I was really struggling, and she did a set of lashes on me. So this was after my overdose. So there was a break between the two boys. I made that sound like there was a break. So she did a set of lashes on me, and I just remember thinking, oh my God, I feel so pretty. And after that, I saw her working, and I saw, because she worked with pink fishes, and I was like asking her all these questions and everything like that. And I said to my mum and dad, I said, oh, I want to do beauty. So that's what they put me on a course, which funny enough as well, I think it was very close. I think it might have been the morning before or the day before or something like that. I took my training course. I was actually in hospital. And my parents are like, no, you're not going on the course. We can't leave you alone. Da, da, da. And they're like, oh God, but we really should put her on the course. So I was put on the course. It was the first time in months that I wasn't being like watched every 20 minutes. I wasn't on suicide watch. It was the first time my mum and dad had left me alone. And yeah, I just think it's amazing to think 5 years down the line, I'm still doing it. I think it's crazy.
Oh my God. So did you go straight into working for yourself? Did you work for a salon? Like, how did you do that?
So I was working in a hair salon, but that was just doing hair. I think I must have been about 14 to 16 doing that. But lash wise, I've always done it my own. I did it in my bedroom. I'm going to say this is an ADHD thing. I think it's not. I think it's just a Lottie thing. I am so chaotic. I'm so messy that I couldn't have clients in my bedroom. And my parents were they were just saying, oh, just do it downstairs. So I got the second living room, and slowly, because they said it's going to be still a living room, it's not going to be just your room. Slowly, I changed the carpet, I got new flooring, I painted the walls, I put a big pink bow on the door. So, and yeah, now this is just the lash room. So I'm so grateful for everything my parents have given me and giving me this room. But yeah, it's kind of just progressed from there.
Oh my God. So you're still there now? Like, you're like, oh, I would love that. Just take over the room.
Oh, completely. It's not a living room anymore. It's just the lash room. That's what it's known as.
Your lash room. I love that. So did you like start up with like clients straight away? Did you take time to build that? Was it like kind of some type of like overnight success, or has it been like a gradual thing?
Oh God, no, far from overnight. Gosh, a girl can dream. That would never have been me. I did £10 full sets for probably about a year and a half. I think where I was so young. And the thing is, I think every training course to start with, you're going to go and you think, I look back at it now and I think, oh God, I didn't exactly learn loads. But like I said, we grow as an industry, we are growing. There's so much more
All the time.
knowledge. So I've had to learn, and kind of everything I've learned is through social media, through training, through YouTube, things like this, kind of to progress. So slowly I've built up my client base. It has taken years. It's been anything but an overnight success. Because I mean, at 16, and I can say this now, I'm still growing my knowledge. I will never have all of the knowledge because I don't think anyone has. So it's taken a blooming long time to get fully booked. But I mean, it's been good. I've enjoyed the journey. It's been really good.
That's so good. And what's kind of like your next steps for business now? What do you want to go on to do? What do you want to progress on to do one day? Like, what's your vision?
You know, it was really funny. I had a woman on my live series, and I was speaking to her, and she just said, I asked her this question, funny enough, and she was like, I'm just happy where I am. And it's funny, the more I think about it, the more I think at the minute, nothing is on the roster. As boring as that might be, I just think well, not on my business, but myself, I'm just going to work on myself. I want to get in the gym. I want to be healthy because I think, and I was talking to my boyfriend about it today, my mental health correlates with my business. If I'm struggling mentally, I don't promote. I don't reply to messages as quick as I can. And I think for me, my goal is just to get myself consistent, get myself on that good level so my business can thrive along with it.
Do you know what? That is the best bloody answer that anyone could give, because like it's not all about like, oh, I want to do this, or I want to have a salon, or I want to be on stages, or I want to go and travel the world. Like it just, you've literally said like it's all the focusing on is on you, which is so important that everyone always forgets to do that. Like it's always the last thought, but with you, it's the first thought. And I absolutely love that.
Thank you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to be a millionaire. I'd love to have 4 salons. But I mean, I'm 21. I'm still a baby. I am working on a talk at the minute with my mentor. Just getting myself out there. I want to bring, if I can do something, obviously I want to work on myself. That's my main priority. I need to get my mental health good. I need to get my physical health good. I just want to bring a lot more awareness to the industry of, I was going to say my conditions, but of just conditions. Because I went to a lash event not long ago and there was a talk all about dyslexia. But within that talk, I think I've got more elements I can add to it because, you know, I haven't just got the one. And I think, yeah, I think definitely just working on me. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I think like just being able to start that movement, like to be able to tell all the girls out there that are like watching and listening to you and seeing you on socials that, do you know what, you can have this, you can have this, you can have this condition, but it doesn't stop you doing what you want to do, and how you can still thrive in uplifting them. It's a bit like when I go into colleges and I'll go in and I'll do talks on like, you know, you don't have to finish school. And I know that sounds really bad, but I'm like, if kids don't like it and they don't get on at school, why is there so much pressure to go, you need to do your GCSEs, you need to make sure you've got good grades, you need to finish, otherwise you're going to become nothing. And I'm like, actually, I'll stand here and say the complete polar opposite, because that's not the case. I left at 13 with no qualifications whatsoever, but actually mostly more ahead than lots of people that did. So I share that. And if you have been bullied, you know, there's options. You can, you know, get the therapy and help to overcome those blocks that you might have and still become something. And you're doing exactly the same thing with those that have these conditions. And I just think that's amazing. Like I can really see you going far with that, just educating and motivating people.
Yeah, thank you. I think the best way I could put it is defying the stereotypes. Stereotypically, I mean, look at me. I'm blonde. I'm Essex. I'm 21. I did a BTEC at sixth form. I do beauty. Stereotypically, I should not be anywhere. I should not be a businesswoman. I've had multiple people say that, oh, you just do beauty. Or how's your little beauty thing going? And at school, I mean, I was conditioned, uni. You go to uni, you don't get an apprenticeship, dumb people get an apprenticeship. So I definitely think we need more people like exactly what you're doing yourself, because it's not a one-way path. It's not one size fits all. I think it's good to tell people and show people. I mean, look, I'm not exactly, I haven't gone to uni and I haven't done this and I haven't taken that path. I've actually kind of made my own path. So I think it's just a good thing to defy the stereotype and show people it doesn't need to be all done in one method because your teacher says so. You can do it your own way and you can be just as successful, if not more.
Yeah, definitely. What tips do you have, if any, of those that are coming into the industry? Maybe there are 16, 17, 18-year-olds coming into the industry that want to start building that clientele. Do you have any tips for them to start?
I would definitely say, thinking off the top of my head, knowledge is power. I mean, if you like learning, continue to learn. Watch the TikToks, watch the YouTube, go on your training course. Is it CPD?
Yeah.
Continual professional development, I think the word is. That is what I mean, I love learning, so definitely that. But also I would say believe in yourself. I really, even to this day, I mean, I've done it for 5 years. I really struggle with imposter syndrome. I really think, oh, why are my clients coming to me? Why are these girls choosing me to train them? I don't do the best lashes. You know, I think, and definitely what I'm hoping I will get better at this year, obviously, improving your mental health, improving your physical health, is just believing in yourself. I definitely think, yeah, I'd say that's my main tip that I have always had to do is just believe in yourself. Because if you work hard, what you put in, you 100% get out.
Yeah, definitely. And you do education now as well. So you host your own lash courses?
Yes, so this is recently from May this year. It's kind of my new project for this year.
Oh, congratulations. What was your kind of point where you're like, do you know what, I'm ready to go into education now? Because I think a lot of times within our industry now, that's kind of the goal for people. They want to do the treatment, they want to then go into education. What kind of are your tips for them to go into the educational space?
So I wanted to go into education because I got a lot of knowledge. I think with my autism, I retain an insane amount of things. And for me, I know a lot of people I've talked to at events, they say, oh, it's really good money. I don't give a flying about the money. I don't care
Yeah.
about the money. I'd work for free. If I could afford to, I would not charge what I charge to pay the bills that I need to pay. So for me, it was just nothing about the money. It was more, I kind of look at when I learn and I want to do the same for others. I think there's such a big mark in it. And so many people are getting sick of their jobs now, sick of working the 9 to 5. And don't be wrong, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I probably work way more than a blooming 9 to 5. I'm not going to because I know a lot of people say, oh, yeah, you won't work 9 to 5. Yeah, you'll probably work like 8 till 12. You know, like you work like so many hours, but I just think there's such a market for it now. And I've got such a passion in it and I just want to help others. And yeah, that was kind of the main goal behind why I wanted to start mine.
Yeah, it definitely is about the passion rather than the money, which you literally hit the nail on the head. Loads of people go, well, I can only earn this much from lashes or whatever treatment it is. So now I'll go into education and I'll be able to earn this. But it's like, well, are you a natural teacher, first of all? Do you hold like obviously the relevant qualifications, but do you have the patience to teach? Because that is so much patience that actually a lot of people don't have that. And do you know, I always say, are you ready to go into teaching if you know every single answer that someone might ask you? Like, do you have an answer for them? Do you actually know the knowledge behind that? If so, then yeah, potentially then you're ready to teach.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think it's good. I mean, I always express this to my students. I am still learning. There will be things in this industry, if they do catch me out on, I'll say, rather than just giving them a blasé answer, because I've had that before. I've asked someone and it's evident they don't know. They've given me and then I've just left thinking, what? I'm so confused. I would say to them, you know what? I'll write that down. I will find that answer for you. I think it's so important that you can do that. And also just being compassionate. Like a lot of my students, they're part-time people or they're mums and they just want to better themselves. And I think like it's okay if they don't want to have a big salon. They don't want this, they don't want that. If they just want to earn that, that's also fine. I think, yeah, I just think it's being compassionate and understanding their journey. And like I say, everyone grows at a different rate, sorry, and they're going to learn at different rates. I feel horrendous for the lash trainer who trained me. I look back at my work and I just think, oh my God, that poor woman must have thought, oh my God, what is this girl doing? But that's why I want to help people, because I understand I was not naturally blessed at lashes. I had to work for it. And I think that's the main reason, again, why I wanted to get into training.
So even if someone takes their lash course now then and they don't have that natural skill or they have not that unicorn at picking up them tweezers and they're just amazing straight away, would you say then just practice, practice, practice? Like, will they get it in the end?
Oh, 100%. It's like anything. I always use the saying, it's just a saying I said, babies don't speak French. Like anything, with a marathon or speaking French, you've got to learn it. You can't just do it once and think, oh, blooming hell, I'm brilliant, because then where's the fun in that? You've got to graft. Like nothing comes for free in life. Nothing or anything good that I've worked for, I have had to work my bum off for. And I think for me, naturally, lashes, I was awful. I just kept going and going. I used to spend 6 hours on sets and I'd place 5 eyelash extensions. But if you've got the determination and if you want it enough, you can do it. It's like anything. If you put your mind to it, I mean, a bit cliche, but yeah, put your mind to it, work hard enough, you will reap the rewards, you'll reap the benefits. But you've got to, I would say, you've got to kind of look at the situation. Am I going to work for this? If I'm going to work for it, do it. If I'm actually going to do it a little bit half-heartedly, I won't make that decision. I won't do that myself. So yeah, you can 100% go from struggling to being good. That's just like anything in life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been on training courses with students before, and you have got those that have picked it up well and you've got those that haven't. But there's someone that really clearly sticks in my mind, and she come on the course and she was really young at the time. And I was like, that's fine. Like I always take on young students. Like I'm really fine with that. I love teaching the young ones. And she just couldn't get it. It didn't matter how much I taught her, she just couldn't get it. But I was like, instead of like bursting her bubble or like being like, obviously you'd never say this isn't for you, I'd be like, do you know what? I'm not going to give you a certificate today, but go home, practice, maybe come back on one of our other training courses so you can have a second go round and we'll see how you get on. So she went away, she practiced. She come back on a second training day. She still didn't quite have it, but I could tell that she was getting there. So I'd done the same because I was like, I can't give her a certificate if I don't feel that she's competent enough. So I'd done it again. I just kept working with her, and then I could see there was an improvement. It still wasn't amazing, but I could see there was an improvement. Anyway, over time, she has not stopped. I swear to God, her lashes are incredible. She now has a full-blown salon with like teams, and she's still really young. She has a training academy, and like she's absolutely smashed it. But she didn't give up.
I think in the long run, she will actually look at you and she'll be very grateful that you've done that. If you sent her off, because I've had to do this with a few students, if you send them off and they send you their case studies and you look at them thinking, oh my God, they should not pass because of this or this or this, or they're struggling more with this. If you were just to pass them, that would reflect badly on you. They wouldn't be as able to do that, and you're harming their kind of progress in the future. So 100%, I think, get them back in. I mean, I offer my students mentoring. Get them back in, see what they're struggling with, and aid them with it. It's such a scary thing. I mean, you wouldn't be given a French book and then go, right, you've had one day of learning French, go speak French. You can't do that. You've got to aid them with it. You've got to work with it. You've got to be there, support them, and they'll then grow with that. So I definitely think 100% offer mentoring, or do what you did, offer them to come back in if they are getting or not getting the knack of it. I wish I probably did. I probably definitely needed it. But regardless, I passed my case studies, no idea how. But yeah, I think it's the right thing to do by just offering that extra aid, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, where can anyone reach out to you if they want to connect or if they want to know more about your training courses?
So on Instagram is beauty by Lottie _X, or TikTok is by Lottie _X.
Do you know what? I think you're one of the first guests that's actually given us their TikTok handle.
Really?
Yeah. Do you use TikTok a lot then? Is that like your Instagram and TikTok?
Yeah, predominantly Instagram, but I'm starting to use my TikTok more. I think that's where we're going. I mean, yeah, I think TikTok's a full-time job in itself, but I am slowly working more on it. But yeah, Instagram's predominantly the one. If you want to reach me, follow me on that.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Like, you are an absolute inspiration. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you. And thank you so much for being really open on your story as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think it's a good thing. Be open, you know, people can learn from it. People go through the same experiences. So I kind of, if anyone else is going through the same thing, you can reach out, or I advise you to speak up, speak out. I mean, you're not alone in this battle. Everyone goes through their own battles. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful.
Oh, you're so welcome. Take care.
Bye.